Hey, you guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to this live chat, and it's going to be pretty darn interesting to say the least. Hey, Jordan. Hey, Mary. How you guys doing? Man, it was an interesting Final Vows for the past couple days, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. We're going to let some folks jump on in and then we'll go ahead and get everything going. Hope you guys had a great day. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Susan. How are you? Who else is there? Say hello. Hit the like button on the way in as well. I know we haven't got started on this chat, but you can hit the like button. Hey, Vanessa. How are you? Yeah, we had a very, very interesting final vows, especially for two couples. And yeah, it was kind of crazy. That's good. I'm glad you're doing good, Susan. All right. So, as people trickle on in, hey, Tassie, what's going on, lady? How are you? Okay, so let's go ahead and get this started. So, after that whole dramatic dinner party and everything that was had and the honesty box and everything, the couples are now packing their bags because it's time. Oh, I'm doing good, Mary. Doing good. Hey, Cindy, welcome. Welcome all the way from the UK. So, everybody's packing their bags. They get to, go their separate ways just for a minute and go home alone for a few days to kind of give them some time to think about their relationship and whether or not they decide to continue or end it. So let's start talking about this by couple. Hey, Kim, what's going on? How are you? All right, so let's jump into this. The first couple we're going to talk about is this couple, which is Olivia and Jackson. So the interesting thing about this couple is that instead of focusing on their relationship, these two and their final moments were focused around that whole drama at the final dinner party, and that whole back and forth between Olivia and Dom. Jackson even told her it looks like she was aiming to hurt Dominica. And, it's interesting because we see her saying, it's something I'm going to work on. And, she told the cameras that she needs to change her ways. But pretty much, they shared a few kisses before they separate. But Olivia did say that, it's going to be a tough time without him. So when Jackson got back home to his hometown in Melbourne, he reflected the highs and lows on their relationship, but he's worried about how Olivia holds grudges and deal with conflict. On the flip side, Olivia is feeling her conflict turned into something ugly that she had with Dom. And she also noted that Jackson has seen her rock bottom as her being her most disgusting self. Um, so Olivia get to sit down with her cousin Phoebe for advice. She told her everything and what was happening with Dom. And she admitted that Jackson has been concerned about it, which it looks like he is. So what do you guys think about that? So let me see. Yeah, I read that too, Tassie. Hey, Jocelyn. What's going on, Miss Lady? How are you? Yeah, I read that too, Tassie, that she had an interview or something saying that she had just lost her job. Yeah, I saw that. Um so, I we already knew that they were going to stay together. It wasn't too much of a big surprise, but let's see. Jocelyn says I read a similar article last night. Oh, okay, you're doing well, good. But yeah, that I saw that. I'm wondering, are we going to get some more details? And like you guys, like I told you guys, we're going to do a live tea party. Once I collect all of the after season tea, then we're going to talk about all of it. Also, too, they just announced about a week or so ago that Married at First Sight Australia is going to be aired in the States. So everything that we already saw, now the US and I think the UK is about to get it too. So everybody is going to get a front row seat to all of the drama that we watched for the past 2 months. So now their final vows, Jackson says that he doesn't want the relationship, oh no, Olivia said that. She said that if Jackson don't want the relationship, it'll break her heart. Jackson did get the chance to sit down with his mom and his sister, and get their thoughts. His mom told him not to hide anything. Don't pretend something's right when it's not, because if you do, it's not going to work. And that is true. I mean, you can hide stuff all you want. And one of the couples that did a lot of that and didn't really approach the truth of their relationship is Mitch and Ella. But we'll talk about them a little bit later. Um, but yeah, I mean, the mom gave definitely some good advice. Definitely some good advice. So they had their final vows, and they met in front of this gorgeous tree decorated in pink flowers, and it had all these rose petals and candles or stuff around. I mean, it was pretty much no surprise that when Olivia gave her vows that she praised him for his character and support throughout the experiment. She actually told Jackson, I love you. So she said it first. And she also said that all I can hope for is the good luck of spending my life with you. Um, and then there was a kiss, but then, it was time for Jackson to do his vows. Mary said, I think Olivia's going to be good until he marries her for real. You think so? We definitely going to find out. I keep track of everybody after the season. Um, Now it was his turn. He started off on a different note. He did affirm the connection that they have, but it did shift when he brought up the moments that really made him think about the two of them moving forward. And that's when you could look in her face and she was shaking in her boots or her shoes or heels or whatever. Um, he told her the way you have at times responded to some of the challenges of this experiment and some of the snide remarks and comments that she made along the way, it didn't sit well with him. And he said, I need to be brutally honest with you. And I didn't know what to expect. I know they ended up staying together, but I wanted to see how they got to that point. But he told her, seeing you under the pressure in this experiment has not always brought out the best in you. And it leaves me worried that your tendency to hold grudges might one day end up with you holding a grudge against one of my friends. Now, even though Jackson said all that, he did turn around and say how amazing she was and that he wants to make her feel special. He didn't say I love you like she did though. He said that he's falling in love with her and that he was so excited about the rest of their lives and seeing what's in store, and they share a kiss. Looks like, maybe the drama might be behind them, not cuz they got to deal with the fans now. And she was like, I'm so grateful that I met you. So yeah, that's where they are with that. I mean, it was no surprise in the beginning, because they started off so strong throughout most of the experiment. And then we had for the last 2.5 weeks the whole, drama with her and Dominica. And, even though it didn't seem like it sat well with him, you can tell it didn't separate his connection to a deeper level from her. Now, there was word around the streets, and I would say alleged, that Jackson was actually more didn't get along more with Dom than Olivia did. That he was more angry about everything that Dom had did more than Olivia was. We never got to see any of it. And I remember when I posted that interview that they did back, I think I posted like March 15th. It was a couple of weeks ago. And the comments that came out according to the interview that pretty much everybody on set had issues with her. But the only person that got filmed was Olivia. So everybody they claim was saying, you know, speaking their piece about Dominica, but the only part that got filmed was Olivia speaking her piece. Okay, let's see what we got. I think Olivia's going to be good. I predict trouble at the reunion when the show footage of the glass breaking incident and another supposed cheating scandal. Yeah, but I don't think it have anything to do with these two. I know it because what they did, and editing is so funny. And they tried to edit that promo to make it look like these two broke up because they was like when John said, "So when did the relationship end?" And then the cameras cut to a scene showing, these two. I was like, "Sorry, producers, you editing, no, it ain't gonna work." But somebody broke up. The question is who? Who? And then there was something in the promos about Tamara being in Mitch's text messages or something. So maybe that's why all this stuff leaked out about Mitch and Tamara possibly dating. I don't know. We got to find out. What Jackson says and does don't match. Absolutely. Yes, because even she says she would minus the married part. Looks like his heart is overruling his head. I think the reunion would be the tell all. Hey, David, what's going on? What's up, fam? How are ya? I think the moms Jackson and Brent. What are you referring to, Jordan? Maybe I missed a part of that conversation. Hey, priestess, they wanted a cat fight for the show. Absolutely, they gotta have drama. Just say if everybody got along and all the now here me, I'm a sucker for romance. Hence the name of my channel. I don't necessarily have to have all that drama. I like the fact of people falling in love and all of that, but a lot of people don't. They want a little bit of contrast. So producers like, well, to keep the show from being boring, we got to come up with some drama. Let's see. Selena should be the experts. Okay, I got to figure out what you guys talking about. Um, it is Mitch and Ella who broke up. Yeah, they didn't. Wait a minute, but they already said no on the final vows though. So who broke up at before after the reunion though, or before the reunion? I'm waiting for the tomorrow drama. Yes, I can't wait for the reunion. I mean, everyone in the room will see just how Oliviously purposely exaggerated what happened. As for the breakup, my suspicions, but will keep them to me. Gotcha. Um, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who that breakup is. A lot of people said that it's Dom and Jack because there's only three couples that stayed together after the show. Well, that said yes on the final vows, right? So it's either we know it's not Olivia and Jackson because they've been all over the place together. So it's either Cody and Selena or it's yeah, Mitch and not Mitch and Ella, Dom and Jack. So Kim says, I think Selena and Cody broke up. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I was actually shocked that they both said yes, honestly. Because, I mean, they let Cody go first, you know. And speaking of them, well, we'll get to them. But Yeah, I was surprised that they even said yes. I was so shocked. You know, this whole drama, because, okay, let me ask you guys, being that Holly, Andrew, and Celine and Anthony left the show, they didn't have any more drama, right? When they both said leave, Holly and Andrew both said leave, and it looked like he was done, overdone. We didn't see him at the boys' night, and I don't even know if he's going to be at the reunion. But with that drama being gone, they had to come up with more drama because Celine and Anthony left what, about week, episode maybe 18, 19, something like that, right? So they had to have, they knew they had a total of 37 episodes, right? So they had, for the last 2 weeks of the season, come up with something. And all of a sudden, here come Hurricane, Olivia, and Dom, and it's just been, everything just went south real fast with those two. So I don't know, it's so unfortunate that, I saw the first somebody posted the first episode at the original hen party, because I mean, I haven't seen that in a while. They made Tamara to look like she was going to be the villain, and actually that's what Lifetime Network is using in the US to promo the season, is Tamara being the villain of the season. But as we know from watching it for the past 2 months, Tamara, yeah, she was messy and stuff, but she's not the main villain of the season. So I think they maybe wanted to go one way and it didn't work out. And then we got Holly and Andrew, and that was only for like a week because Andrew was out, Holly was out. Then we had Celine and Anthony, and that lasted for about a good 2 weeks after the wedding. And then they were out. And so the production team was like, well, what do we got left? I mean, we got to come up with something because our drama left the scene. So I don't know. Okay, let's see what we got. So I was saying, Jordan. Okay, Jordan says I was saying Jackson, Brent, and Selena moms should be the experts. Yeah, they should be. They gave some great advice. Janine Meese, hi, welcome. Dom and Jack was a news article. Jack was lonely and hanging out with Cody and Selena. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't surprise me, Janine, that they're the two that's probably out or broken up. Selena and Cody breaking up would not be unexpected. That's why my money is on Dom and Jack. Yeah, me too. Because even if they broke up at the reunion, it's not like breaking news. They were shaky the entire season. This season is starting on Lifetime tomorrow. Yep, it sure is. It sure is. I'm gonna leave because I got all my recaps up from the beginning. So the people here in the States, if they're watching it, I will definitely share each recap from everyone that I did from day one. Kim, the one we saw was from, oh, wait a minute. Okay. Jordan says Holly husband deleted all his social media and stopped answering calls from the production company. He took off work. Wait a minute, he off to work on mental health. So now Holly doesn't speak on it either interviews. Okay. Oh, okay. So Andrew, are you referring to? Andrew is just, he's in hiding right now. Well, you know what? That whole scene where people called him a narcissist, he called her a narcissist, and then the fans called him one. And the whole 350 body count and all the drama. Yeah, he went into hiding. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this reunion. I mean, look like they got to have another dinner party. So we got a reunion dinner party, and then a reunion with the experts. I'm like, oh my god, this season. I thought Married at First Sight was long for being 3, 4 months. Even though it's only been 2 months, it feel like 4 months. What, 37 episodes? I don't know, but what do you guys think? You think it seemed like a long season, even though it's been 2 months? All right, let's move on. 350 body count. Who, what? I missed something. Yeah, so Andrew, and I don't know if you've seen the entire season, but Andrew was one of the husbands that married another lady by the name of Holly. And because they wasn't compatible in the bedroom, he really made some very not so respectful comments in regards to how she was in bed. And then he brought up his body count. He said that sleeping with her was worse than sleeping with one of his one night stands that he had. So yeah, that's what that was about, Kim. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, we gonna talk about this couple right here next. So the next couple is Tamara and Brent. And yeah, this here, she was nice about it in her conversation. And Brent was like, yeah, 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 you're not going to get away with this. So they pretty much hadn't been talking to each other. They both go home without saying goodbye to each other. Brent decided to stick by to himself that day. Brent also back at home turns to his mom for advice. He admits that he has mixed emotions, and despite their disastrous lows, the couple have also had some huge highs during their time with the experiment. Um, but the mom wants him to walk away. And I agree with his mom. Like you guys say in the comment, Brent mom was awesome. What you say? Oh my God. Wait a minute. Jocelyn said there's a way to address dissatisfaction in the bedroom. Andrew was beyond cruel. Yeah, it did not set well with a lot of people. Brent is my boo thing. I'm glad he read her. Yeah, Brent is a funny guy and he's handsome. There's a video clip that I posted where he and Al all bromanced up was watching the watch party of the actual vows that he did with Tamara. It was hilarious. It was funny. But his mom, yeah, he was like, nah, she ain't that girl. Sorry, Brent. And she gave him the right advice. I honestly agree. Tamara gets in touch with her friend Christy. And she's still telling the friend that she don't even understand what he does. And it's like, what don't you understand? He manages venues. What's so it's not algebra. It's not rocket science. What don't you understand about this man's job? Or is she choosing not to understand what he does? But I mean, after the dinner party and everybody telling you what he does, you get back with your girlfriend and tell her, I still don't know what he does or understand. And she even said that uh his job and occupation side of things have been a huge problem in the relationship. No, you made it a problem. He didn't make it a problem, you did. So you don't put that on him. So it was their turn to do their final vows. They meet outside in this whole stunning building with all these beautiful flowers. I gotta give it to Married at First Sight Australia. The honeymoons, the wedding venues, where they did the vows. Oh my gosh, absolutely gorgeous. I gotta say, Australia, you guys got some beautiful spots down there. Some of the places where they film this stuff and just the whole ambiance of it all. Oh my God, absolutely beautiful. They need to do that here in the US. Everybody get married at the same venue. Everybody go to the same honeymoon. Everybody's live in the same building. Well, I mean, these guys live in the same building in Australia too, but at least with the honeymoon, you get privacy in Australia version, whereas on the US version, everybody take the same honeymoon, they share the same activities and all of that. I like the private honeymoons. I like the private wedding ceremonies too. So, Jocelyn said the more we observe Tamara's behavior, the more she and Olivia look like evil stepsisters. Yeah, they definitely teamed those two up for the last 2 weeks. So Tamara tells him that they gave it their all. She felt out of place with him. I don't see a future with you. I feel the best path for me is alone at this stage. I'm sorry. Well, Brent says, my turn. He said, oh, I look back together on our journey and I'm very fond of it. He even praised this girl for her ability to light up a room when she walked in. Now he really set her up because she was smiling and like, oh, okay, he's taking it really nicely what I said. And then it's like, dun 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 dun. He now shifted and stressed how the experiment wore on them and that her true colors really came out. He said she was vindictive, spiteful, and self-absorbed. He said that he was made to feel like a fool for chasing her around for the smallest amount of decency and respect. The inability for her to be kind destroyed the both of them, and you never took responsibility for your part in our crappy fate. And he said something else. Brent says he now has clarity and he realized Tamara lacks the qualities he's looking for in a partner. You are not God gift to humanity, so stop looking down on everyone. I don't even know where you get the confidence to even do so. So, on that note, good luck. And he threw them cards and he walked off. Tamara still standing there, her hands on her hips, because she was like, okay. I didn't expect that because he did. I mean, at first he set up how, oh, she light up the room, and we had an interesting journey, and she was like, "La, I can relax now." And then he pulled the rug up from under her. I was like, "You man, Brent." Brent was like, "I'm not walking out of this situation looking like a chump." He did say that that he's happy with himself. And he also told her, I don't feel like there's anything left for us to say to each other. He even said to the cameras, he don't need to see Tamara again, even if he don't have to ever see her again. He said he's gonna walk away with his head high, with integrity, no regrets. Yep. I loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Let's see. Goodbye. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me scroll up. Tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow's just crazy. I'm happy Brent gave her a piece of his. Yeah, I was like, Brent, by the time you stand up for us, and he didn't even get crazy out of pocket, because men have to walk a fine line these days, especially how they talk to women and how they express themselves. But he did it perfectly. Perfectly. Someone said tomorrow's a glorified secretary. I mean, my thing is, you shouldn't look down at nobody's job. Even if she's the CEO, COO, CIO, CFO of any company, don't look down at other people's job. I mean, seriously, you could lose your job in an instant. She definitely feel like she's got gift. Good riddance. Loved it. Tomorrow remains delusional as in completely self-absorbed. Absolutely. Priestess said, can someone please explain to me why the full episodes I've caught on YouTube are, you know why? Okay, so one of the reasons why you don't see them since Friday on my channel is that YouTube is cracking down. So what's probably happened, Priestess, is that they've also cracked down on the other content creators as well. And so they're trying to jumble up because I've seen episodes where it gets to 30 minutes and then it starts all over again. Or it starts in the middle and then you only get the middle. And then the other part of the end is stuck in another video. So they're trying to jumble it up to keep the algorithm from flagging. So that's probably why. Yep. So, yeah, I think I had to watch. And the thing is, I can actually, I have a VPN, so I can actually watch the whole thing. But yeah, just to answer your question, that's probably what happened. But yeah, Brent took no prisoners. Brent said his piece. He didn't get, because some women, they'll think that when a man speaks like that, they're being disrespectful or things like that. Nope, he gave a piece of his mind, and he just told that woman how he felt, because they've been crappy from day one. I mean, that whole wedding situation, she has been agonizing over this man's job, employment, career, whatever you want to category you want to put it in, since day one. She actually thought he was a bartender at first. And then he explained it at the reception when they was taking pictures and stuff like that. And then she kind of calmed down. And then you go a whole 3 months and you still back at square one with, I really don't know what his job is. That's been the demise of our relationship. No, you have been the demise of the relationship because of the fact you didn't take time to figure out what this man do. If I'm not sure of what my significant other does, I'm going to get clarity. I'm going to ask questions. If you really truly wanted to know, Brent would have broke it down for you. I mean, seriously. So, yeah, I can't. No, she was never interested. She didn't care. Nope, she didn't. She did not care. And because if you care enough to know, you're going to try to get the information. Jocelyn said Brent said his piece without resorting to swearing or name calling using the B word, so he stayed a gentleman. Absolutely. He was definitely straightforward. He explained how he felt, and he did not get out of pocket with any type of abusive language. So he did a good job with that because she deserved it. I mean, and she kept saying rude things throughout the season. You know, Janine says the first episodes, the past few days, they will go halfway, then repeat, jump to later premiere and get full episode. Yeah, they're trying to beat that. You're absolutely correct because obviously Channel 9 is picking up the fact that all this stuff is on YouTube. And so they actually get to contact Google because Google runs YouTube and say, hey, you got to go after these content creators for posting these episodes. I don't think Tamara has a desire or brain power to absorb or understand much. Event coordinators, yeah, it's not that complicated. Even if you said a venue manager, because I think that name and that title came up in conversation the past couple days. You manage venues. Venues are places where people can have a concert, people can have a wedding reception, people can have any type of event. What's the problem? I don't understand why even you had to ask your girlfriend. I still don't understand what he do. What do you mean? I didn't get that. But, Tamara, obviously, she didn't care. David says it would be a mess as always. Okay, you talking to D'Souza. Yeah, the reunion. Yeah, that reunion is going to be real interesting. And I am here for it. I know you guys are too. I'm looking forward to it. Also, guys, before we continue moving forward, if you are enjoying this live chat, hit that like button. Let's get the likes up. Also, too, if you want to support the channel, the Cash App is there. And yeah, let us keep it going. But yeah, I was proud of Brent. Brent definitely did absolutely awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome with expressing how he truly feels. Because he should. You can't be just looking down at that man's job. I mean, especially it's supposed to be your husband, right? So, and if she is this glorified, can you hear me? You cut out now and then. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm taking long pauses. Can you hear me? Say yes in the chat if you can hear me. Yes, yes, yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Mary said I keep cutting out now and then. So I want to make sure you guys are hearing me. David says the problem is she don't respect him. The truth is his job is not good enough for her. She is a manager. So if he said some big profession, she would be impressed. Ah, gotcha. Okay, thanks, David. Thanks, Priscilla. Welcome, Priscilla. Yes, welcome, Sharon Lorraine. I'm sorry her friends and family are a big part of the problem. They're enabling her. Yeah, I saw one of her TikToks that she did, and she was talking about her being an influencer. And she was saying, what does an influencer do? Well, what do you influence? She said anything that anybody give me for free. So, I mean, I know as a TikTok, maybe she was just having a little bit of fun with it, but, but, these platforms are a way for people to grow their social media. So, Tamara respects money. Yeah, I can guarantee you she knew exactly what Dion did for a living. That's why a lot of people were saying that she was probably gunning for Dion, but Dion went back to his ex-girlfriend. So sorry, Tamara, no Dion for you. No Dion for you. But they're done. I want to know what they're going to have something to say. Was she in Mitch's DMs? Yes, D'Souza, thank you so much for telling people to hit the like button. It helps the channel. Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to know what she's been texting him, meaning Mitch. Jocelyn said the only Tamara influence is my oh God. Jocelyn, you're funny. I'm gonna start because now all these little things are coming out. So I wish I could post some of these as shorts and stuff like that. I can post them on my Instagram if you follow me over there. But yeah, few things, few videos and stuff is coming out. So, as much as I can share on YouTube, because YouTube is being they're checking everything when it comes to using content from other platforms like Instagram and TikTok. So we got to be careful. Jocelyn says, I'm thinking Mitch has special pics of Tamara in his vault. Ooh, he did have a vault on that phone, didn't he? Tamara and Brent live in the same city of the Gold Coast where I used to live. That's why they're hanging out together and possibly together because of proximity was an issue for both of them. I also know that the two of them work in the same building, from what I understand. I don't think they work at the same job, but I know that they were saying that they work in the same building. So, yeah, that's another reason. Who knows? They might be getting closer. We'll definitely find out because it's all going to come out after Sunday. All righty. Let's talk about this next couple. Next up is Selina and Cody. So they started off with this whole thing because I think at some point she wanted to get to talk to her mom. And Cody had never met her side of the family. Sorry about that. I had to get some lemonade. But Cody had never met her side of the family, so Selena took Cody to meet her mom. Now, this whole thing with he knocks over, I guess he gets to the house, knock over the good luck frog. He broke one of her mom's special teacups. And they're very spiritual, so they have a lot of they're very deep into their spirituality there in that household. And they looked at some of the things that he was doing that was not good luck. That man, and it was like, are you that clumsy, Cody? You would go to this woman's house breaking things. I'm like, wow. Um, Yeah, so they said when you break a cup the first time you visit people's house, it represents your personality. And the mom was like, I am not impressed. Not at all. Selena mom also wanted to know if he's serious about her. And he told her, I want this to work. Um, but that whole thing, I guess Selena, there was this thing about sea otters that they had in common, and it's also her spirit animal. That I guess they noted from the beginning at their wedding day. I didn't get all of that. I tried to pay attention to what they were saying, but obviously it was meaningful for her. But the fact that he remembered the whole sea otter thing from the wedding day, for her it showed her that he remembers and he pay attentions, and that he did care. So I don't know, that whole thing was just okay. I was like, yeah, all right, let's get to the vows or whatever, which didn't happen until episode 35. Let's see. uh there was an article yesterday that Mitch wasn't on the show for the right reasons, is advertising some brand of clothes. The one expert said as long as they are authentic on the show, it's okay. Oh wow. Gosh, you just never know. I mean, they were saying that Dion just went on the show just to get notoriety, to push all of the properties he's selling, or a new complex or something. I don't know. Um, okay, let's see. Cody and Selena may not work out, but at least Selena found her backbone, finally willing to make herself happy despite her parents' disapproval. Yeah, because Selena was saying that her parents haven't approved of any decisions that she made. And I was like, wow. They must, I don't know if they look at her as being rebellious or the wild child or not sticking to traditions or whatever, but for her to say that her parents never approve of anything, yeah, that's something. Prayers for Selena. What games is Cody playing? I think we were saying this for the entire season when we've been doing these chats. um is that Cody is probably trying to make it through this season because he didn't look good with the whole, when he was trying to accommodate himself, I guess, with having to, be with how he described it, because she was asking him about her look and her being Asian, and his response to that. So I don't know if he's trying to stay on the straight and narrow and clean up that and just get off the show. I don't know. Okay, so I didn't understand how he broke that cup. It almost seemed staged, like he was too close to the table. Yeah, I thought the same thing, David, because the back part of the chair was in front of the camera. All you heard was glass breaking, and you really didn't see him break the cup. And then they walk in the room with a cup that's broken. I thought that was kind of weird too. Cause I'm like, you breaking things all over this lady's house? It's like that don't make sense to me. Mitch was on to prove the experts wrong, and in my opinion, he wasn't going to commit to anyone. Yeah, he was the skeptic. He came into the season thinking that the experts didn't know what they were doing, and he wanted. Yeah, you were right. He wanted to prove them wrong. At least they both know what a deal auto is. A deal auto is. Tamara said a sea lion wasn't real. Yeah, I remember that. See, she loves sea otters, so he got her one sponsored for her. So it's like when people sponsor a wild tiger so they don't go extinct. It made her emotional and happy because she loves the animal. Okay, gotcha. I was wondering, and see, I watch it so early in the morning when it comes on, and when the videos come out, it's like 4:30 in the morning. So I'm trying to see everything and try to get a clear idea of what's going on. But okay, I appreciate the explanation. D'Souza says Selena has very low standards, very low. Yeah, that must be, you spell it with what, four E's? This is so very low. Yeah, I she's just hoping for something with this guy. I don't know what she sees in this situation, but now Sharon Lorraine, hello. I saw a lot of growth in both Cody and Selena. Happy for them, no matter how it turns out. Yeah, and see, that's why if it works out, fine. If it don't, then it's pretty much expected. So I agree. Um, Mary says, I bet Mitch does have pictures of tomorrow. Well, we're gonna find out. Jocelyn says, I believe the term is tiger parenting for Selena. Oh, okay. Tiger parenting? I've never heard of that. Selena exaggerated that comment. Chinese parents are demanding and very high standard, but I don't think it's nothing like she does. Yeah, so you think she was just overdoing it by saying that statement? How they never approve of anything? Yeah, so I don't know, but we had to wait to episode 35 to see them and their wedding. Let's see. Where's my notes for episode 35? I got to get it together. Okay, so I'm just scrolling here, looking at my notes. LA Mitch. Okay. All right, so they finally get a chance to get some alone time. And he went surfing. And I guess that was his way of trying to get his head on straight. And as for Selena, she's back trying to figure out her relationship. She has a conversation with her mom, and her mom says, I don't think he's into you. What do you think about the mom and what she had to say? Was she right? Because she wasn't impressed with Cody at all. I can tell that he's not into you. He's not really keen to show, how he feels about you. And even she agreed with that. And, she even said, I think you love him more than he loves you. She can see it and she can feel it. If he really loves you from the start, he will show it right out the front door. Straight away is how she described it. He will show you everything, every word, every moment to you, and how important you are to him. And mom said you deserve better. She was brutal, but she was, I think she was spot on. I mean, she definitely saw what she saw when it came to Cody. Let's see. Anyone that has a Batman sheet and fan that looks like it could blow up at any minute wouldn't work for me. That's the first thing that came to my mind. When they said yes at the vows, I was like, okay, you gonna go home to his Batman to his bed with the Batman sheets? Jocelyn says you have to be desperate for love, fame, or both to agree to be married to a stranger. Yeah, I couldn't do it. No, thank you. I'll watch. I'll even talk to you guys about it. But to go on a show, nope, not I. D'Souza said I normally get ghosted. Selena, you think she get ghosted all the time? Mary says not only that, Jocelyn, most seem to have serious issues. Yep, 100% with the mom. Yeah, she was spot on. David said mom could see through him. Most mothers will want to see a man showing that a man is very interested in their daughter, which Cody is not. On the other hand, the mom also said he has not shown anything that says to me that he's ready. Asian parents are quite demanding and usually want a well accomplished man. Yeah, you know what? She saw everything that Selena should have seen. And yeah, so She did mention that to her mom, if the man is rich and well to do, he'll be perfect match for her. Wow. Janine says before she met Cody, she said for the first time she's going to go with her feelings. Sound like Selena's mom is possessive. Selena said her parents has been demanding. Yeah, they obviously have very high standards for her, and look like Selena wants to do her own thing, and she want to make her own decisions, and those decisions that she's been making, according to her, her parents haven't respected it. And in this situation, yeah, she decided to go ahead with Cody. So let's talk about their vows. He starts off by thanking, because he went first. He thanked her for the journey. Even though he did admit that they brought out the worst in each other. That's not a good sign. So if you bring out the worst, you're supposed to bring out the best in each other, not the worst. And then you still decide, despite saying that, he still says that, I realize that you are someone that I deeply care about, someone that I want to be around, and more importantly, someone I want to build a future with. You want to build a future with somebody that brings out the worst in you? Okay. Then Selena's turn. She started talking about the roller coaster ride and the experiment and the growth that he's made, and she's proud of that growth. But it starts to downhill very quickly because she said that there's times that she felt really hurt, she was let down. She never thought coming to this experience I would cry so much and have so many moments where I felt so alone when you were right by my side. Stop right there. Y'all bring out the worst in each other. This whole relationship has been a roller coaster ride. It's been downhill from the beginning. She's been crying so much and being feeling so hurt and so let down. And even though she was in the room with him sitting next to her, there were so many moments that she felt alone. Why are the two of you saying yes? Why are the two of you claiming to want to build a future together if y'all got more negatives than positives? It makes no sense. David said most Aussie born guys are not that type of guy. They're free spirit and don't give much care to what the parents think because they feel it's about the couple, very carefree. Yeah, okay. Jocelyn says any parent wants to be the best for their kids, I would hope. I told my child I don't care about gender, race, money, religion. If they treat my kid like crap, they're not going to be welcome in my house. Absolutely, I agree. That's the reason she's gonna need help with that. I don't even understand why they want to move forward. You in your vows are all about how bad the relationship was. And then she said even after all that, she was continuously wondering where she stood with him and whether he really cared about her. You don't know where you stand with this man, and you don't know if he cares about you. And then she turns around and says, but you're kind and you're loyal and you're respectful and you're honest. I'm like, okay, are you two gaslighting yourselves? You got to be gaslighting yourselves, or you both is in some serious cognitive dissonance, because how are you saying you felt alone, you cried so much, you didn't know where you stood, you don't know if this man really care about you, but then you say he's kind, loyal, respectful, and honest. I just don't get it with this whole thing. Um they both say yes because she turned around and she says yes, and then she's jumping up and down, and she's excited about wanting to continue the journey together. They kiss, all these big old smiles. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. The reason, okay, moms, we moms see what they don't because we're not in the feelings of the relationship. That's true. I agree. Janine says, I just don't think Selena or Cody have had that many relationships, so it was a growing experience setting expectations. My thing is, if you can identify more negatives than positives, why are you doing it? Just heard a snippet of the Jimmy Nath show. Brent and Tam Tam applied for Married at First Sight 3 years in a row. Wow. And she wanted to be the villain, but overtaken by stronger personalities. My thing is, why would you want to go on a show to be the villain? I mean, seriously. You know how the fans take these types of shows. Why do you want to go and audition to be a villain? But just the fact that they tried 3 years and both of them tried to get on the show and they both got matched and they both are like, that's crazy. That's some good tea though, Jordan. Appreciate it. But I just don't see how in the world they were able to, yeah, I don't get it. Nope, don't get it. But we'll see. I don't. Do you guys see long term with this couple? Do you think they could surprise us and say 3 years down the road they got babies and married and a house and two dogs? Do you see that happening with these two? Do you think they can shock us? Selena doesn't want to let go because she knows the marriage is not legal. They are still young and not looking to be locked down immediately. I agree. I agree. That's the other thing. It is not legal. They actually have to go and have an actual ceremony. So are they going to make it to that? Probably not. Probably not. So she feels she has time to grow and learn outside the experiment. Well, we'll see. From what I understand, that reunion, I think the filming ended in November, maybe. And then the reunion was filmed in January, 2 months ago. I'm assuming, right? Because the season started January 31st in Australia. So I'm assuming that the reunion happened right before they filmed the start the season. I do think they will stay together for a while. Honestly, Selena is not pressured lady, so Cody can grow with her, not breathing down his neck every time like a tomorrow. Okay, well, we'll see. Jocelyn says villain get their airtime and many underestimate to their detriment just how vile, toxic, and out of control social media can get. Yeah, there's no way. And even if you don't apply for the villain role, you can be put in a villain edit. So no thank you. The Sousa said for exposure. I remember Jess, Inez, Davina, Martha. It was all about them. Yeah, well, you got to be willing to put your mental health on the line for that because with this thing happen with Olivia, who has been in the past 2 weeks as the new villain when everybody else was gone, these people were coming for petitions and threats and her job and the federal or whatever you guys have a term for your federal investigators and stuff like that. I mean, it's not to me. There's no reason I want to sign up for all of that. No way. You're welcome. Got to search for the full. Mm, got to search for the full interview. Sometimes the villain makes the most cash. Look at Nene from. I don't even watch. I don't watch The House. I do not watch Love and Hip Hop, and I do not watch any of the Housewives. I can't stand those shows. It's just too. It's just too much for me. I don't know about anybody else. If you like it, okay, cool. But yeah, the villains, I wonder if producers pay them more because they know what the outcome is going to be. Because I can't see myself getting crumbs to put my life and my mental health on the line. I just couldn't do it. David says, T alert, a petition was signed for Olivia to lose her teaching job and got over 250 signatures, and she's now been fired. She says she's now the Australia Putin. And yeah, I heard she said that people are treating her like Putin right now. I'm telling you, these shows can take you. There, I even seen some fans saying that they needed to take a break because it was just way too much drama. So if some of the fans need a break from all of this, and especially the vitriol that's in social media right now because of that, imagine the cast members that are the villains that's dealing with it. They were saying that she can't even go to the grocery store. I'm wondering if she's going to eventually have to go in hiding or, move to an area. But see, that's the thing. The show is about to go all over the globe. I mean, people have been watching it on YouTube. You could be anywhere watching it on YouTube. It's about to air in the US as of tomorrow, and then in the UK. So she can't get too far. Um, Apparently, more signed the prosecute Olivia petition than all the support Ukraine ones together. That's crazy. Over a TV show. Holy crap. Saw that, Dave, and she did it to herself. I can't wait for the reunion. This is where they get to see themselves on screen for the first time. Lies get uncovered. They get $140 a day and must buy their own food and 12 hours of camera for that. That's crazy. $140. I don't know what the cost of living is there where you guys are, but $140 a day? I don't know. God, that's crazy. At least 1,000 an episode, especially to be the villain. And because here's the thing: once she's now fired, where is she gonna go get a job? The only thing that I could, excuse me, the only thing that I could think that she could do is remote work, because anything else in person, she can forget about it. She's probably going to have to find a remote job where, maybe somebody will hire her through an interview online, and she gets set up with computers at home and work remotely. That's the only thing I can think of at this point, because if she's thinking about going to be a teacher, yeah, it's over. Let's see. Now this season is almost over. Do you know when Married at First Sight UK starts? Yeah, I will cover UK. I've been trying to find out because I've been hearing different things. I've heard April, I've heard like September. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Jordan says, "Yeah, I knew I liked you. I don't watch any of the Housewives, but I do see the recaps on YouTube. As a woman of color, breaks my heart to see sisters." Absolutely, I can't stand the representation of it, Jordan. It's just too much. I cannot, I cannot support that. David says 140 a day is fairly average in Australia, except if you're an engineer or working a proper job. Not sure that's the exact amount of money they get though. Jocelyn says $140 is well below minimum wage, plus loss of privacy and no control of your edit. Hell no. I don't blame you. I couldn't do it. I don't care if they paid me $5,000 an episode. I got to be able to go to sleep at night. I got to be able to go to the store. I got to be able to shop and hang out with my, family, friends. I cannot give up my livelihood just to be seen as a villain on a TV show, because the perception of, even just say all of this is fake, and they told them, hey, reel up the drama and everything. Even if it's fake, because people are under the impression that when you say reality TV, a lot of the folks that watch the show think that it's 100% these people. So they treat them as such. Just like the biggest villain over on this side of the turf was Chris Williams from Married at First Sight season 12 with him and Paige. That man got death threats. That man, they tried to get him fired. They tried to, because he's also a business person. They tried to interrupt certain business situations. Now he's slowly bouncing back, because I follow these folks after everything is over. He's slowly getting back to his life, but he had to do some things. He did some community service and help people pay their bills, and that kind of softened some people's hearts, especially going through the pandemic. He shelled out some money to kind, and I'm not saying he didn't do it out of the kind of his heart, but because he did that to help people during the pandemic, a lot of people saw him differently. Now there's a ton of folks out there that still can't stand Chris Williams, but it's going to take a lot. It might take years for Olivia to recover. Now, season 10 will come along because every season there's a new villain. Last season there was a villain, season before that, and so on and so on. But the thing is that some people forget, because it's just like any other thing in the news. It comes in a wave, and then the next exciting news, people forget about the other thing, right? I don't think they're going to completely forget about her, but it will die down. The question is, how long would that take? These people are angry over her, angry over this, and the damage that this whole her doing the show with how her character is. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I like peace of mind. I like a calm household. I don't need that, you know? Let's see. Fame is a powerful drug. Yes, it is. I don't like Housewives either. None of them. Yeah, Mary, I can't stand that show. I don't have cable. Any show I'll watch is YouTube. You know what? Most of the time I like watching other content creators. I try to stay away from mainstream media. I do catch my review shows, but other than that, I watch sports. I'm a basketball fan. It's been March Madness here, so if I'm not watching other YouTube content creators or doing my own YouTube stuff, I'm usually watching sports. Um I don't have. Oh, I heard they get enough to pay for their rent, whatever amount that is, but not more than what they get at their normal jobs. Wow. Like I said before, I ain't going on these shows, but even if I went on as a lady, no one is seeing my bra strap. No sex, I won't be another Ella. It's just crazy. Woo. Jocelyn says, wonder what Will Smith will have to do. Okay, so it's so many theories around that thing. Some people think it's staged. Some folks think that he was wrong. That's a whole nother video. I don't want to get too far off the beaten path because we're talking about Married at First Sight Australia, but the whole Will Smith Chris Rock thing, that's a whole separate video in itself. It's so many theories around that. Will was wrong. Some people saying they both was wrong. Some folks are saying Chris Rock was wrong for talking about Jada. It's oh my God, it's been the buzz. I think they said it was the number one trending thing in the past 48 hours. I think there was 86 million searches on YouTube, and everybody was making videos on YouTube about it. So the content creators definitely jumped on that bandwagon. Let's see. There are people who cannot claim edit. I mean, how does edit make you say pass the cyanide? Does anyone have Xanax? Some people portray themselves the way they see fit. That's the truth. One of the other things I will say is that some people also realize that they're on TV and they overact. So if she was doing this to be more dramatic, she only did herself a disservice. Um, David says too much demons people are carrying with all these sex shaking my head. The world is just careless. Oh, okay, you talking to the Sousa. Just another example of a moment forever captured in social media. Yep. Will has over, yeah, his net worth is 330 million actually in the bank. He'll be fine. Yep, and they all apologized. I mean, Chris Rock didn't call the police, and well, the police asked if he wanted to press charges. Chris Rock said no. They claimed that they squashed it. Will apologized to him this morning. So who knows? I don't know what's going on behind that thing. I just think that it was not a good look on TV at all. At all. And I mean, if he really had an issue, which I don't think you should disrespect. I've never been too much of a fan of stand up comedy. I don't like comedy shows just for that fact. Being roasted, I think I went to one comedy show about 20, 25 years ago. I guess that tells you my age almost, right? I do have 20-year-olds I've told you guys about. But anywho, I went to one. I saw how the stand-up comedian was talking about people's looks and stuff, and I know some people okay with that. I'm not. I was like, I don't think it's funny. I don't want to do this. So I just, I'm not a fan of that. If you want to have comedy about world events or relationships but calling out people's physical flaws for a joke, not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. I just looked at Married at First Sight on Lifetime late. Yes. So, Married at First Sight US comes on at 7 my time. I'm on the CS, so 8 o'clock on the East Coast. It stays on to 10 o'clock. Then after party goes on from 10 to 10:30 Eastern time, and then Australia comes on at 10:30. And it's only an hour. It's not like US where it's 2 hours. It's 1 hour, so it's on from 10:30 to 11:30. So you're absolutely right. Um let's see. My phone. Yeah, I've seen that. I've had that happen to me too, Mary, that sometimes I'll put a message in a particular conversation and it doubles. I don't get that. I'll be 58 in September. Getting old is a privilege. Yeah. Yes, it is, Jocelyn. Yes, it is. Kevin. Hey, Kevin. Have you posted episode 35 yet? Because I don't see it on your channel. So we were talking about this earlier. As of this past week, obviously Channel 9 and YouTube has been cracking down on content creators posting the episodes. So I said it on the live that I did on Sunday, and people have been messaging me, and I've been telling the same thing. YouTube won't allow us to do it. There are content creators that are posting the episode, but they're chopping it up, putting it in pieces, having the end of the episode at the beginning, the middle, and the end, just to throw off the algorithm so they won't get caught up. So yeah, YouTube is on the prowl. Hope that answered your question. Let's see. Mitch was abusive and she rewards him with sex. Okay, yeah, let's talk about Ella. Because we're done with Cody and Selena. So let's talk about Ella and Mitch. And oh my God, I love the nighttime scenery that they had. They've had lights all in the trees. They had all these candles. I love, love, love candles. I love candles. Ah, man, I light up a candle and it just really makes the house smells good and it sets the mood to a relaxed state. So for them to have all these candles, I absolutely loved it. That scene was absolutely gorgeous. But anywho, let's talk about these two. So um they wake up in separate rooms. They didn't spend their last night together at the Sky Suites. um They briefly kind of catch up before heading back home, but it wasn't all that welcoming. Um, they when they did meet up, they didn't really reassure each other, and especially Mitch, he didn't reassure her and make her feel secure about the relationship. Mitch says the fact that I want to spend every hour with you. Wait a minute, make sure I got my okay, yeah. The fact that I want to spend every hour with you every day is a good indication I feel strongly about you and that I want to be with you and that I'm really into you. I don't know what else I can do. But Ella wants more validation. And Mitch says that if it's validation you need, then maybe I'm not the right person to give it to you. And he said, I got a lot to think about before we go into the final vows. Um, let's see. Yeah, these two, this is the couple I would say I'm the most disappointed in because I really was rooting for these two in the beginning. Um, because I really thought they was into each other. They were pretty strong. Until I think it was Domenica that brought up the fact that she don't seem like she's being herself. And then John asked, "Do you feel that you're good enough for Mitch?" And when she said no, Mitch went off the rails and was like, "I can't believe you didn't talk to me about this. I'm thinking stuff was all good and I'm blindsided." Now, I got to give Ella a little bit of if I would give her a little bit of conversation because she should have had that conversation well before they got to the seat, when Dom called it and when John Aiken called it out, because they were in probably weeks, maybe 5 or 6 when that came out. So if you feel that this guy is not being deep enough in conversation, he's not really getting to know you, or you feel like, there's a part of you to feel insecure because she says she don't feel like she measure up or good enough for Mitchell. I noticed she always call him Mitchell. Everybody else call him Mitch. She always call him Mitchell. So obviously she like call him by his full name. But anywho, I don't know if you guys noticed that she always call him Mitchell. Um, but she should have had that conversation early on, like, hey, and somewhere around week 2, after all of the honeymoon fun and the being in the hot tub with the suds and all that stuff, it's time to get down to business and get to know each other. If she started feeling some kind of way, that conversation should have had started early on. Now, Mitch, on the other hand, I have a few words for him too, because you don't come into a marriage not asking things and getting to know your partner. You don't ask a question like, where's the craziest place you ever had sex? I mean, seriously? Get to know who she is. Get to know, what she likes. Know more about who she is. And they never got that. They never got to that point. And I just feel that that was a big disappointment because the connection is there, right? But they didn't go deep enough to make it solid. They didn't build any type of foundation. It was all sexual. And they could have probably, if they had went deeper, they could have probably took this relationship to a whole different level. So, okay, let's read some comments. Comments. Okay, so I have a very good link, but because I want you to share it, oh, hey, B Fly Nick, what's going on, girly? Because I want you to share it, I will to watch the show. Okay. Jocelyn said one such privileges have grown up and screwed up a time when social media didn't exist. Yeah, I remember those days, Jocelyn. If something happened in the neighborhood or with your friends, everybody talked about it maybe at school or the neighbors, but it was only within a less than a 5 mile radius. It didn't get across the internet like today. I don't see Mitch as abusive, more of emotionally challenged. Okay. Mitch was savage. Wow, my wife was just cringing at almost every word he said. This dude is not looking for a wife. That's just the truth. Yeah, Mitch wasn't in this for a wife. Okay. Celine and Anthony was the greatest disappointment, like shaking my head after the wedding they had all. She threw me off on day two. That's the only reason why, at least with Mitch and Ella, there was a few weeks of connection there. Whereas on the honeymoon, Celine went south. So she didn't even give me a chance to try. The wedding was beautiful. Anthony and Celine was the first couple to get married or aired to be married on the show. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. This is going to be beautiful. And then the next day, it went straight to trash with those two. So I really didn't get a chance to even build hopes for them. Let's see. Many role don't plan beyond the next hour, be it love, relationships, etc. Yep. Cody gives me an emotionally challenged. Oh, you talking to Jocelyn? But the way Mitch speaks to Ella, if you can be yourself, ask questions without fear of them leaving, then the person you call partner is not for you, nor are you in a healthy relationship. Great sex is not a band aid. You are absolutely correct. She should have been able to have those conversations with him. You cannot say, well, if I say the wrong thing, he might leave. Well, if he does, then he's not the right person for you. You're supposed to have that type of communication in your relationship. In my opinion, Ella was matched with someone who had something to prove. She was there for the right reasons, but he wasn't. Hard to navigate. Yeah, he was there to try to. I mean, I think he was pleasantly surprised with who they paired him with, but the ultimate goal of his was for him to prove that the experts didn't know what they were doing. Sex is what most people about nowadays. That's true. Yeah, but I mean, cause she went through her vows first. Even after all of that, um, she went through her vows first. She see the potential in their relationship, even though, she said that she admitted that she feels vulnerable and that she's expecting to work at the worst even before she walk up there to face him. Um, she praises Mitch in her vows, acknowledged that they have different needs, different expectations in the relationship. Maybe you're not ready. You're not ready for the level of commitment that I'm searching for, she tells him, but she sees the potential in their relationship. Yeah, well, and then she says she's willing to take that risk beyond the experiment, see where it could go. You're worth keeping my heart open for. You're worth the risk. Yikes. And I didn't know what Mitch was going to go or what he was going to say. With all of the rumors, I'm like, well, maybe they broke up later. I don't know, because she definitely put her heart out there. She said, I don't care about the ups and downs that we've had. I'm willing to risk seeing where this relationship could go. On the flip side, it was now Mitch's turn. Now, he did say, that she excited him. She brought him out of his shell and constantly give him a new perspective on life and things around him. However, when he starts to talk about the bumps in their relationship that revolve around him not showing enough affection and Ella not secure in their relationship, he said it's difficult to see a bright future with you when it seems the longer we spend with each other, the more difficult the relationship gets. And the more that I realize maybe I'm not the right person that you're looking for, I don't see this as a substantial relationship. And he said, you know what I need to do right now? I need to get back to my life, back to my family and my friends. And it's only then I'll be able to make that decision. I will not be forced to make a decision that I am not ready to make. And yeah, she tears up. She was sad. He asked for patience, but to me, he is just keeping his options open. That's what she said. She thought he was copping out. That after everything they've been through is still not good enough. She gave him a hug, but she walked off. She's upset and she's definitely disappointed in him. So she'll be fine. I know there's a ton of pictures of her hanging out with Dom. So they've been BFFs since the show ended, probably because Ella was Dom's support system during the whole debacle. But, you know, she's not gonna, Ella is a beautiful young lady. She'll definitely meet a guy who, is interested in her. Mitch, on the other hand, we'll have to see what happens with him. Um, he probably likes keeping his options open. Now that he has the exposure, there are women in his DMs. No matter what, somebody might think of him, I can guarantee you there are women in his DMs. So Mitch probably, just like Ella said, trying to keep his options open. He's thinking that there's going to be a bunch of girls waiting on the other side of this for him. So I could be wrong, but that's what I can see. Okay, this would be a blessing for Ella, absolutely. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up with all the comments. Ella confused or misread lust and attraction for love. I agree with that, Jocelyn. Biggest blessing. I knew he ain't taking her along. He was already making plans to go on trips without her. Yeah, it's just that it's David said it really hurt. Oh yeah, D'Souza said delusional Ella, good luck. Yeah, I think he should have walked away. He definitely should have walked away from this whole thing. It really hurt my it really hurt my heart that Ella led with the sexual energy right from the wedding, and I think it pleasantly pleased Mitch. David, that girl was licking her lips. She couldn't keep, she was licking her lips like she was getting ready for a 5-course meal looking at Mitch. And Mitch knew it too because he looked thirsty himself. They couldn't wait till the wedding reception was over. If you go back and actually Meredith Lifetime Network here in the US previewed that particular scene coming up. And I'm telling you, Ella is licking her lips like she saw a 5-course meal. Seriously, when she saw Mitch. Um, Tamara is perfect for him. Evil, Barbie, and Ken. I don't know who Tamara could be paired with. Her personality is just interesting. I don't know. They put out the zodiac signs of everybody, and I thought it was pretty interesting. What did I do with it? You guys probably saw it when I posted it in my community tab, but actually, zodiologically, Ella and Mitch is a zodiological match. She's an Aries and Mitch is an Aquarius. And technically, according to the zodiac, that's a match. I know a lot of Aries Aquariuses match. And it's because of the fact that they're both energetic, they're both unconventional, that type of thing. And surprisingly, when I saw what their zodiac signs was, I was like, you guys could have made this work. Compatibility is there. Now I'm not as deep into it as probably Selena is, but from what the basics that I know about the zodiacs, a lot of the rest of those couples are not zodiological match. They were the only ones. So Dominica and Jack is an Aries, she's a Pisces. That is not a match. I don't even know how they would put that together. Cody is a Pisces and um Selena is a Libra. That's not a match. Um with Olivia and Jackson, she is a Cancer. Yeah, she's a Cancer and he's a Aries, I think. That's not a match. And then who's the other couple? Tamara and Brent. Brent is a Aries and Tamara is a Taurus. That's not a match. It's like, did you guys purposely put these people together for drama? Because I know it seems like Married at First Sight US, when you look at the zodiac signs of the couples that was really dramatic, they're not normally matches. So I find that pretty interesting. Anywho, enough of that. Let's see. Mitch described himself many times. Ella refused to believe him. Ooh, okay, Jocelyn. So you're pretty much saying that she should have paid attention. Both Ella and Olivia were thirsty at the wedding. Olivia was a bit less obvious. Yes, she was. She acted like a total prude at the wedding. Really shy. That's why it was like day and night. Because at and I always go back to the women's hen party. I think that's what they call it when they all met up at the bar. Olivia was the shy, I'm worried about what people gonna think about me. I've been uncomfortable around people, and she was quiet. And even the way that they dressed her at the beginning of the season was this quiet, demure, really didn't say much. And we would always talk about on the chats, and even in my recaps, I would always say, everything is easy street for Jackson and Olivia. What happens when they come up on stuff? And then the second half of the season happened. It went from day to night. It was weird. That whole dynamic was weird. Um, let's see. Most women ignore the red flags, and I don't understand why. Because a lot of them they idealize relationships. So what happens is, if there's a guy that you really, really like, there's an idea of what you think he is versus who he actually is. And most people subscribe to the idea versus the reality. So they like, oh, I can change him, or he's not that bad of a guy. They make excuses, or even guys do it. She's not that bad of a girl. She's okay. I think she's really cool. Well, maybe, and people make excuses because they want to see this person a certain way versus who they actually is. Tomorrow's only possible partner matches a cardboard cutout of herself. Jocelyn, you're funny. Ella's mom saw it right from their video call with the parents during the homestay. She told Ella right away he's not putting the effort, but of course she kept sleeping with him to make him stay. Yeah, she did. They did actually have sex. So yeah, she got caught up in that. Lack of self love, self esteem, self assurance. Okay, you're talking to the Sousa. Similar behavior by Ella and Dominica is that they ignore the issues facing them head on in relationship to be distracted by other things. And then at the end, reality hits them in the face. If these experts are paid based on the success rate, yeah, it'll be in the toilet. Mary says, what am I right about, Mary? Which part? Which part? Oh, you talking about what I said about idealizing relationships? Yep, that's what folks do. But I was I honestly think they could have made this work. Mitch got what he got out of this whole experiment, and he was like, I'm out. And Ella is disappointed. Ella is disappointed, and it's so unfortunate that you know, yeah. But what was interesting is what he said, it was that he won't be forced to make a decision he's not ready to make. So is he trying to leave the door open? When he made that statement, was he trying to leave the door open? I'm wondering. To say, hey, I ain't gonna say no, I ain't gonna say yes or no today, but can we just see it? And yeah. So I don't know what he was trying to do with that statement. Kind of leaving their relationship in limbo. I don't know what that was about, but I don't think Ella is here for it because she was upset and she was like, "Nope, I'm out." All right, we got one couple left. Let's see. Our one final couple is this couple right here. Now I gotta say, um, Dom really know how to put on some makeup. I saw her doing her own makeup, and I know she's a makeup artist. I think she does a good job with her makeup, her wingtips, and how she put on. She definitely know how to put on some makeup. I also like that dress that she had on today too, even though she got it all muddied up, but it had the corset top and then the long flowy bottom. I like that top. I don't, it's weddingish, but it's not over the top like a wedding dress. I think it was a cute, very elegant dress, but I didn't know what to expect with these two because they led us up to the point where at the dinner party she was questionable about their future. And then we did see the scene before they packed up that, they were really excited. Jack was like, I'll see you later. So, you know, um, yeah, that whole honesty box kind of threw people for a minute because a lot of people thought what she did was crappy. As much as they were supporting Dom, there was some folks that was like, what she did to Jack, they was like, I'm gonna have to give you a side eye on that, Dom, because and here's the thing, as much and here with the relationships, as much as Olivia and Dom was going back and forth with each other, I will say Olivia still went into her relationship, even though Jackson had issues. But she was focused on trying to make sure Jackson was okay. He was trying to make sure she was okay. On the Dom and Jack side, I don't know. It's just I think David, you described it as her being distracted and not focusing on her relationship like she should. I'm thinking that's what you said. And I mean, obviously, as we saw, they decided to go ahead and stay together, right? And take the relationship outside of the experiment. But, and I know there's a lot that we don't see. We only see like 1% of everything that they do. But what we didn't get a lot of seeing in the last 2 weeks of Dom and Jack bonding and building their relationship. We saw more of him trying to be a support system through this whole Olivia and Dominica thing, but them two building their own relationship away from the drama, I didn't see that. Whereas we did see Jackson and Olivia having conversation, they did talk about Dom a lot. It was like, dang, can y'all talk about something else? But they also kind of had this conversation about each other and they kissed each other and they it was like, I'm here for you and I love you. And there was the affection that we always saw with those two amongst the two of them. What do you guys think? Let's see. Okay. It was about, hey, if you let me hit it again, I'm here for you, boy. Bye. Mary says, "Oh my God, Olivia's a Cancer. Me too." One thing about Cancer people that they are really sensitive. They're about family and the home life. They're a water sign, so they can be really emotional. Um, yeah, so she's a Cancer, just to let you know. Now, the him being an Aries, I think he can keep that under control because Aries, that's a fire sign. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they work off each other. I will say, and this is not true of all cancers, Mary, but cancers can be manipulative. So I don't know about, I'm not going to say that about you, but that's what they say, that they can be very manipulative. Um, Mitch statement, this is me, take it or leave it. Yep, pretty much. I love Selena's dress. Yeah, her dress was pretty too. Most of the people in that room did not support Dom. I don't trust her with Jack. Jack deserves better. Yeah, she was focused on being the diva on the show, calling everyone out at the meeting, fighting with Olivia and yapping every time about the sex being bad and his weenie is too small. Yeah, absolutely. Cuz they even showed clips of her behavior when it came to her husband. The conversation about how, at Kate and Matt's wedding, when he was like, I always say nice things about you, but you always got to bring up negative stuff about me. And that don't make me feel good. And she was like, that's too much. And then he was like, well, yeah. And then she turned around and retaliated against that. Um, then she's always talking about him behind his back and stuff like that. And I'm like, the time spent, because even if somebody come after you in conversation, you don't have to entertain it. I mean, if Olivia was throwing snide remarks and saying this and that, and blah, 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 focus on your husband. This is married at first sight. You supposed to be building relationships. Build your relationship with Jack. And the time that she spent doing the sparring event with Olivia, she could have been trying to figure out what she would have see long term with this man. Have a great night. Oh, good night, Jordan. Good night. Good night. Yeah, she was too focused on being the queen bee instead of focusing on a relationship. Now that the cameras are gone away, and now she got to look Jack in the face every day. Now she's going to get the reality, like, okay, do I really know this man? I spent so much time filming and having fights with Olivia and Tamara. They're gone now. Now I got to focus on this man that's in my house. Are we compatible? Are we going to connect with each other? You know what I mean? And so maybe that was the downfall. We'll see what the outcome of all of that was with her relationship. I just think that if most of these folks, like, okay, Selena and Cody, he's not in, even her own mom called that out. We saw what happened to Ella and Mitch. They could have made that work, but Mitch wasn't there for the right reasons, I don't think. Tamara and Brent, Tamara was just not into getting to know Brent like she was supposed to. And then as for Olivia and Jackson, they spent the first half of the season getting to know each other. So they were the only couple that really spent the most time getting to know each other and building a foundation, because the first 19 episodes they had no issues. They were working on their own relationship. Episode 20 to 37 was all about this whole Olivia and Dom thing. So they had plenty of time. Whereas with Dominica and Jack, even at the beginning half, she was complaining about period sex and sex wasn't good enough, and I need to spice this up, and talking about his toilet habits, all that stuff that we saw, instead of really wanting to find out if she can really enjoy building something with this guy. And then after all of that, then it switched off to the Olivia saga. So, yeah, it's crazy. Very few of us can claim to have never over okay, I don't know, ever overshared, vented, about our relationships, i.e., locker room banter, difference not being filmed. Sorry, overshare. Okay, thanks, Jocelyn. I was like, wait a minute. I just saw your comment. Not me, but I get what you mean. Yeah, I'm not open. I do talk basic things, but when it comes to trash talking, if I got issues with my significant other, I'm going to talk to them about it. You know what I mean? One thing Dom didn't do is one thing if you share, but she hadn't even talked to him about it. He found out secondhand. Brent heard it. That was a conversation that she should have brought to Jack's plate first. You know what I'm saying? And then even at this past dinner party, when it was a different scenario brought up, um, even Jack co-signed, oh yeah, yeah, I knew about that. I knew about that. It shouldn't even be out there like that. Unless you got like most of the time if I do have something deep to share like that, if I've already talked to him, to the significant other or whatever, maybe my sister, but people that I've barely known for probably like 3 or 4 weeks, nah. Nah. Mm-mm. Nope. And my sister, we've known each other for 45, 50 years. So, I think I feel more comfortable there than actually especially sharing with your partner first. Let's go there first. And especially if it's something that you can work out, then fine. Now, if there are situations of abuse and, whether it's because men get abused too, so I don't want to make this all about women just getting abused. Men, there's emotional and physical abuse with men too, as well, that they receive. If you obviously need to talk to somebody to let somebody know what's happening to you in a relationship, absolutely. You need to talk to somebody. But basic stuff like your bedroom habits and things like that, yeah, you need to talk to your significant other first. Even I think we had this conversation on Sunday. As trash as Andrew was talking to Holly, he still didn't go out to the other couples talking about it. He just told her about it. We got to see it on TV, but he didn't put it out there to the guys like, yeah, Holly is this, that, and the third, and I had better one night stands than with my own wife. He didn't do that stuff with Brent and Mitch and all the rest of those guys. He told her about it, even though it was, ugh, yeah. Um, let's see. I can be a bad girl sometimes, just not psycho. Okay, Mary. Janine said, I think Olivia got all the bad edits. Dom definitely has issues and causes issues. Interesting, Janine. Because one of the things that I said before all of the Dom issues really came to the highest level, Dom and Olivia issues that came out. One of the comments that I said in one of my lives, probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago, is that calling somebody else's relationship out. I mean, why not just pull them out over to the side or something? You know what I'm saying? Or let the experts do their job. That's what they're getting paid for. If they see things, fine. And I know, it's probably set up for each couple to have some say so because it creates drama. But it's like Dom was calling everybody's else's relationship out when she should have been focusing on hers. Now you down to the wire, and now you don't know whether you can see a future with this guy. Even though they did sign up to stay together to pursue a relationship outside of that, okay, that was 2 days later. What happens for year 5, year 3? This long term question that was in the honesty box. What about that? So let's see. Agree. Complaints are about penis size, lasting power should be discussed with a partner or a professional, but not a public discussion. Absolutely. David said, "We see you, bad girl, Mary." That is funny. She's saying because she a Cancer. She says she can be a bad girl, but she ain't no psycho. She ain't no psycho. Experts never told Dom to keep quiet. So yeah, because they wanted the drama. The cameras, production, they knew. They knew that Dom was gonna bring the drama with that. And a lot of people were saying, yeah, call her out, call them out, call this couple out, call that couple out. And um it got to a point where, those couples was like, look, focus on your own stuff. Why you over here in my business? You know, which is why, it triggered this whole Olivia thing. But Olivia took it to a whole nother level with the whole cyanide and past the Xanax. And she was waving a glass instead of just breaking it and all this so kind of stuff. So she added. Now it's one thing if she said to Dom, hey, I see you calling everybody out, maybe you should check your own relationship, and left it right there. But all this other stuff that's been happening in the past 2.5 3 weeks, well, yeah, that's all I can say. Experts. Okay, so Jocelyn, a Virgo and a Pisces, are you asking me if that's a match? It could work. You can put a earth sign with a water sign. They usually work well together. Only thing is, a Virgo is a perfectionist and they tend to worry a lot. They're very analytical. Very analytical. So, um, perfectionists, most of them they love order and structure. Everything in its right place. They're neat freaks a lot of the time, not all. So, Jocelyn says Olivia intent was malice and revenge, edit or no edit. Yeah, it took on a whole new life of its own. And the thing is, I'm wondering if they asked her to do this because how do you come from a place of being completely mousy? Because she was like a quiet little mouse for so long, and then all of a sudden she comes out to be like this demon child. Yeah, that's why I tend to question things like that. It's like, okay, are you the demon child or are you the mousy child? Which one? Because it's like day and night. I don't get it. David says, what sign am I? My birthday is actually coming up the end of next month. Remember I told you guys. So, for those people that want to know, I am born on a cusp of Aries and Taurus. So the cusp of Aries and Taurus is from the 19th through the 24th. Yep. So I got a little bit of both. So I guess I do have some Aries traits, but I also have some Taurus traits because I'm born on the cusp. Sagittarius, my daughter is a Sagittarius, David. Free spirited, try anything once, life of the party, love to go out and have a good time. They are very philosophical people. Um, Thinkers, they are very blunt. They speak what they speak, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, whether you like it or not. They're very blunt people. Um, but yes, that's what I know about a Sag. Sag just try anything once. Once they get bored with something, they move on to the next. Not per se in relationships, put too much so, but I would say projects. Like my daughter have tried so many different things, and then when she's conquered it, because you guys are the hunters, Sagittarius, bow and arrow. Uh, Once you try something, you look for something new. A new project, something new and exciting. You guys get bored easily. Yay, we're gonna have a party and celebrate. I'm actually gonna be out of town. I will be because my birthday falls on a Sunday this year or Monday. And I am going out of town for 4 days. So Olivia was bullied as a fat girl. Despite weight loss, she sees and still feel like that fat girl. Yeah, I went and got a backstory on that. And apparently, yeah, she had weight issues. And the other thing is, she was working out so much, she ended up injuring her leg, and she also couldn't get the weight off. So she ended up doing gastric surgery or weight loss surgery. I don't know which one. I'll just say weight loss surgery. And she ended up losing like 110 pounds. She's like 105, 106 now or something. It was something like that I saw. But she lost a ton of weight. So, and she stayed in the gym. So that's why I was questioning the whole thing about her having an issue with Jackson being in the gym so much. And come to find out, that whole edit wasn't even about the gym. It was about whether or not he could go binge drinking for 2 days straight. And that's when we saw the clip of Olivia says, he's not a frat boy. That can't happen. He can't be doing that. He's not, he needs to grow up. Yeah, that whole conversation was about a weekend binge drinking, not about him in the gym. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Uh she said being petty helped her deal and cope with lots of crap all on there. Okay. You going to celebrate it with your boo? I said, actually, I'm going to visit. My daughter came up here a few weeks ago, remember? So I'm going to take that trip down to visit her this time. And so we got some plans down there. Mary said yes, but Jocelyn, a lot of people have went through that stuff and didn't turn out like Olivia. Yeah, weight loss surgery, gastric bypass. Yeah, it's the same. I know, but there's different. So, um, I know that there's different types, so I didn't know which one is specific, so I didn't want to know. I didn't want to misquote, but yeah, no excuse. My thing issues with seeing issues. She need to get some counseling with that, because if what everything that we're seeing with Olivia isn't true, you cannot go through life hurting people because you haven't fully mentally adjusted with who you are. You got to get help with that. So hopefully, she's seeking some help, she's getting some counseling, whatever the situation is, because her going around being petty and holding grudges only hurts her, because people walk away from you. I mean, if I come across a petty person, I don't have to deal with you. I'm not going to get into a whole streak of arguments and being petty back with you. I just won't deal with you. So, Olivia clearly has unresolved issues and has to learn the hard way. Glad she isn't a teacher anymore. Dom was apparently bullied too. Both have issues. Um, Poor husbands. Every single love rat had. You know what? And here's the thing: nobody's perfect. Everybody got something going on. It's how you deal with it. Do you go out here, if you got something going on in your life, don't project that onto somebody else and make other people's lives miserable. Go and get that taken care of. Talk to somebody. Get on the carpet, sit down, cross your legs across from a therapist, and y'all hash out, dig deep into your childhood, all of that good stuff. Whatever you need to do to clean up that old stuff, because being hurt and then turn around going out here hurting other people, it only makes the world that much worse. It's enough out there, as we see in social media. So I mean, yeah, people got to get stuff cleaned up, just like you go to the doctor to check on your knee or your ankle or get a physical. Mental health is extremely important as well. You need a mental tune up, go get a mental tune up. Even something as simple as a spa day, or just taking some time out to shut off the social media, shut off mainstream media, listen to some spa music, put some candles around and just chill out and decompress. Just kind of close the door to all the noise. Give yourself a mental break. I had to honestly, to be honest with you guys, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, when that whole barrage of all that stuff, I actually took a day and I said, I got to walk away from this for a minute. I needed to reset. I needed to give myself a reset, because it's one thing I sit up and I talk to you guys about this, but I hate to see bullying. And as much as, I didn't like the whole back and forth between Dom and Olivia, I also didn't like the vitriol that was in social media. And I know it happens, right? But just the amount, the what was being said, and the attacking of other people because people had different opinions than the other. And I had to walk away for a minute. I said, let me go. And I started cooking, and I started styling my hair. I just took a break from it. Sometimes that's what you got to do. All righty. Every single issue, pettiness hurts everyone. Absolutely. You agree 100%. Yeah, you have to sometimes you got to take a mental break from this stuff. I mean, as content creators, we come across a lot of things, and we see a lot. And sometimes it's hard for people to stay biased, because some content creators get caught up in it too. I try to stay neutral because I don't know the full story. And at the same time, as much as people come after the cast members, at the end of the day, it's just too much. You know what I mean? And so sometimes I just shut off the phone, and I work out every day, so I keep my mind going with that. That's some of the stuff that I do. Sadly, Jocelyn says, sadly, nearly $200 a ER session. Access to mental health is for the privileged few, and even with medical coverage, the caps are insufficient. You're absolutely right. I mean, unless now, if there's some things that you have to go where you can't function in your daily life, try to get that help. BetterHelp.com. I'm not a sponsor or anything for them, but I always talk about them. You can sign up online. Check your local jobs. I know here in the US, a lot of corporations have EAP. EAP is, they give you, if you call in, there's a number, it's part of your insurance. You usually get like 5 or 6 free visits, and it's paid for. It's called Employee Assistance Program, EAP. So check into that if you need to talk to somebody, at least for 5 free visits. And you let them know what's going on, and they will try to find a counselor that's near your home. Olivia, anyone curious with what's in Mitch vault? Yeah, I am. Hey, DJ. I am definitely curious to see what Mitch got going on in his vault. He's hiding something. Hopefully, we'll get to see that at the reunion. Olivia says Jackson needs to grow up while she acts like a teenager. Yeah, that's crazy. David says, very good points. Taking time off is, yeah, you have to. If you get yourself so immersed and caught up in social media life and see all of the fighting and throwing stones, I don't know how many times people get called Olivia. Is that you, Olivia, for just having a difference of opinion? So if they differ, just like if they say, well, I don't think Olivia did anything wrong. She called out Dom for calling out other people. The first thing they'll do is say, is that you, Olivia, hiding behind a social media account? And it's like, okay, people just got a difference of opinion. Especially on the US shows, I usually comment a lot from time to time on Facebook. And there's times where people be like, is that you so and so? And then I'll come back and like, unless they are this age, this height, and live in this town, sure, I'm whoever you think I am. It just gets so crazy. Easier to criticize other Jackson than turn the mirror on herself. Yep, that's true. Why did Brent call Tamara a psychopath in the beginning? Yeah, that's a good question. Because technically, she started out acting kind of silly. I mean, that whole thing about her and that about him and that cutting knife for the cake because he wasn't cutting it the right way or he had the knife upside down or something. I'm like, that's ridiculous. And then she got so just disconnected when he thought that he was a bartender. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh no, you didn't, DJ. I heard that theory. I don't know about that. I'm not quick to question people's sexuality unless they come out and say anything. Because one thing I will say about Married at First Sight in the U.S., a lot of time the men villain of the show, they love to try to call them, gay or something like that. And yeah, unless the cast member actually says that what they identify, I don't go there. Um, why did bring? Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's probably why he called her a psychopath because of the fact of how she was acting at that wedding. He tried to take it in stride. He tried to calm her down and loosen her up because he was cracking a lot of jokes. But Tamara was being a real diva on that wedding day. So maybe that's why he called her that. So I don't know, but I'm looking forward to this reunion. I want to see because they about it look like that they are going to show some video and call out Olivia for some of the stuff she was saying. Somebody has broken up. Then this whole thing with Mitch being in Tamara's text messages and showing the text and then Dion and Daniel and Carolina is back and it's like I thought they weren't part of the experiment, but you keep bringing them back. Either they're part of the experiment or not. I mean, you was like, you are not welcome to be a part of this, but they were at the boys and girls night and they're gonna be at the reunion. Okay. Um, we did see Holly's back. I'm sure Celine and Anthony is back. Kate and Matt is there because I saw pictures of them. So yeah, but it's going to be an interesting season. It's going to be pretty interesting. I'll say it'll be pretty quiet once this is all over. I still have to do the recaps on Married at First Sight US. That's probably going to be, we're in the middle of the season over here with that, which coming up on episode 11. So we should be getting to, I would say probably we got another 6, maybe 5 or 6 more weeks, and then that would be over. Um, yeah, and then other shows that's going on right now is Temptation Island. The Ultimatum starts next month. The Ultimatum is the next week. The Ultimatum is that spin-off show of Love is Blind is going to be on Netflix next month. So that's the other show that's coming up. And I'm not doing Marry Me Now. I can't stand that show. I'm over it. I only seen one episode and I was done with it. I don't like it. Um, I'm trying to think what else is going on. And then Ready to Love is coming up on this last few episodes. Oh, Put a Ring on It just started. So you guys let me know what you want to talk about. I want to keep the conversation going with you guys, even after Married at First Sight. If there's other shows in the UK or in the Australia area that you guys now they have to be dating or romantic shows or marriage shows because I don't do like Survivor and Big Brother and all of that type of stuff. I do dating and marriage shows. So if you got a show that I can actually track down and watch and we can talk about it, let me know. Let me know. I will be more than happy to do that. Let's see. Jocelyn said I'm gonna need loads of popcorn. Hey Jocelyn, I got a bag here that is waiting for me to watch with this show. DJ say Mitch attitude toward women is evident. He does not like women. Remember Colton Underwood did. Yeah, but I waited for Colton to come out with that. I didn't want to jump to say, yeah, Colton, you're this, you're that. I prefer them to actually come out and say it. Netflix has loads of new shows. Okay, Kim. So yes, the ultimatum is coming up at the beginning of April. Let me know if there's others that's coming out that's related to marriage and dating off this show. But what did you think about Ace ready to leave, not sending message or calling Tori, but standing him up? I did not like that part, but I'm glad that Ace did actually meet up with Tori to let him know later in the episode why she did what she did. A lot of people wasn't happy that she left, but I was. I'm like, if you don't have a connection, don't lead anybody else on and don't waste their time. Her only connection was Laverne, and Laverne left. He got kicked out. Not kicked out, but he got eliminated, and Laverne was her connection. And she didn't have a connection with anybody else. She didn't see it with Tori, so she was out. But I'm glad she did actually, um, you know, have a conversation. I did a recap on that, David. It's on my channel if you want to check it out. Did they skip an episode of Yes, they did, Maestra. So last Wednesday they did a recap with Kevin. What's that guy name? That's on Entertainment Tonight. I forgot his name, but he and a few other bloggers did a mid-season review. So yes, the new episode will be tomorrow. So you didn't miss anything. Wedding Redo episode was good. What is that about? Is that like a dating show or what? Don't Tell the Bride, several versions. Okay. Thanks, RTV followed. Off to sleep now. Okay, Jenny, good night. We'll talk again when it comes to the reunion. I just sent you a pic of the shows through IG. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. I will check it out and then I'll do some reviews. David, what you got in mind? Obviously, you watch Ready to Love. What else do you watch? Let me know. And any of you guys, if you got any ideas of some of the other shows, because I want to keep the conversation. I'm gonna probably start doing more live chats than recorded reviews. So, let me know. Because I like to sit up and talk to you guys. We can do more recorded reviews and then be able to actually talk about the shows. I'm trying to figure out how to do watch parties through YouTube. I know Queen E does it. I probably need to message her and see how she does it. She uses a different platform. I use Restream for my lives, and I think she used a totally different platform. But she does live watch parties with some of her show recaps. So we can even do that. Whatever you want to do. Wedding redo, they redo their wedding day. Okay. DJ, I have gay friends and respect them. I don't for those that hurt other closet crew behavior that way mistreated Ella. Yeah, I mean, if you're not 100%, don't go on a show like this if you really don't want. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I heard her mention you in a video today. She did. What did she say, Kim? What did she say? I want to know what she had to say. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna check with her. There's a few content creators that I do talk to, and try to get their insight on what they thought about an episode, a scene, a show. Not everybody, but there's a few that I actually, communicate with to kind of get, and I watch their channels too. I watch Queenie and I check out her recap. So yeah, we kind of check in on each other's stuff and see how the others doing. I like her stuff. I like how she does hers. Everybody do theirs differently. She's on screen. She's on screen and me, I just like making it about the message. I don't make it about me. So but yeah, you guys. So it says she was talking about Manifesto Straight and said you post videos of the show. Yeah, unfortunately, not anymore. Me and quite a few other folks, yeah, they're cracking down on that. Channel 9 is like, "Hey, that's our stuff. So, you want to watch it, you got to come to our channel." So, yeah. All right, guys, we're going to cut it short here. We've been on a little bit over 2 hours. And yeah, it was a pretty interesting Final Vows this week. Will we see your face on your birthday? Let that be our gift. You are so funny. I might go live one day soon and then do and actually open up my camera on the live. We'll see. We'll see. Smiley face. Yeah, I'm telling you, I like I said, I'll be out of town. I'll be out of town, David. Yep, yep, yep. So I hope you guys hit that like button. I hope you enjoyed our chat for the final vows for these last 5 couples. Looking forward to the reunion, guys. So I'm probably won't do the reunion until Sunday because I want to get both. So we're gonna see episode 36 tomorrow. And then the final part of the reunion, part two, is going to be on Sunday. What is that? April 3rd? I think that's April 3rd. So Sunday we'll do a live because I got to do Married at First Sight tomorrow for the US. And then we'll just combine 36 and 37 when we do the live this weekend. Okay. All right. Night, night, you guys. Oh, no problem. Thank you. Enjoy your dinner, Mary. You guys have a good evening. Thanks, Kevin. I'm glad you enjoyed the recap. See you later, David. And yeah, I enjoy always talking to you guys. Always, always, always. And until the next video, we will see you soon.